Well, I'm from the Ozarks, and it's anywhere in the Ozark Mountain region. Actually, it's not even the Ozark Mountains. It's called the Little Boston Mountains, but it stretches over into eastern Oklahoma, down into Arkansas, and up almost to Kansas City, Missouri. And just, you know, I grew up, my daddy was a Baptist preacher, and so for all my life we never lived in one place long enough to call any particular spot home. But so I've lived all over the Ozarks, but generally we lived in the Ozarks. So I call myself an Ozarkian, you know. Not from any particular city or town, but just an Ozarkian. I started writing gospel songs just because I sang in church, you know, almost every Sunday, you know, since my dad was the preacher, you know. I could kind of get a foot in the door there. But anyway, so I just started writing, you know, just different odd songs, and then my cousin has recorded all my music, and so he lives in Minnesota, and so I go up there and we'd record, and it just, you know, he's gotten better at it and I've gotten better at it, and then we started doing the yodeling songs and just whatever song comes now, but all of those were just various. We kind of both together sat down with all the songs I had written in just a little plain old notebook, and he said, okay, this one's really good, let's do that one, let's do that one. And so we picked out an album full, and there it is, you know, just various. And a couple of them, I've had some serious people look at them before. They've just never made it to any top 10. Actually, when I started working with Irmal, he said, I think you need to do Lucille Ball. And I kind of chuckled. I thought, oh, yeah, right. Nobody can do Lucille Ball. And he says, no, really, really try it. And so, you know, so I started doing Lucille Ball. And actually, she was fairly easy to do because, you know, you just have to pick out your particular personality traits that are similar to theirs and go with it. And then we came on with I did a little bit of Maureen O'Hara. Maureen O'Hara is very difficult for me because she is very Irish, and I don't do Irish so well with an Ozarkian accent. But anyway, but I try. And looking wise, I can do her. And then Katharine Hepburn. They flew us to New York to do Katharine Hepburn, and I always thought we were going to New York, you know. Living in the Midwest, you think, okay, we drive 2 or 3 hours to get across the state line. Well, they flew us to New York, and we were going into Connecticut. Well, I studied for 2 months to do this Katharine Hepburn. They called Irmal up and they asked, could we do a Katharine Hepburn? And I said, and he said, oh, no, I don't know any Katharine Hepburns. And I said, I could do Katharine Hepburn. I said, I don't know, I know the older Katharine Hepburn, but I don't really know much about the younger one. So anyway, I started studying. Very, very, very versatile lady. Golly, she's just, I mean, you could read books forever probably on Katharine Hepburn. And so I went back and I saw a few of her acting from the earlier movies. But I really tried to do, you know, I'd seen on Golden Pond, I'd seen Rooster Cogburn and the Lady, so I thought, okay, as long as I'm in that genre, then I'm okay. So I did, that's what I tried to do, is just stick with that. But then when they flew us to New York, I didn't find out till we were on the plane that we were actually going to Connecticut. And I said, we're in Connecticut. And Irmal said, and rattled off the little city, I said, ah, that's her hometown. No wonder they wanted a Katharine Hepburn. These people knew her. So I thought, oh, going from the frying pan into the fire. But when I walked in, they had George Burns walk in first, a look-alike, and very good. All of them were very classy. They had Marilyn Monroe walk in. Of course, you can't miss George Burns, you know, bald-headed cigar, out the big glasses, you know. He walks in, oh, George Burns. And they walked in, Marilyn Monroe, well, blonde hair and, you know, sexy dress, you know. Oh, you know, can't miss Marilyn Monroe. You walk in at Clark Gable came in with it next. And, you know, a little mustache, you know, dark hair, you know, you can't miss Clark Gable. And I kept thinking the whole, you know, 2 months that I was practicing, I thinking, what says Katharine Hepburn? You know, she's a lady, just dressed up in fancy clothes. So anyway, they had Rooster Cogburn come in with an eye patch. You know, you can't miss John Wayne and Rooster Cogburn. So then I had the high neck white collar. I had my coat on as You Look Good night, and the hat put on, and I walked in and they said, oh my gosh, they got a Katharine Hepburn. I could hear that all over. I thought, oh, I made it, I made it. So I did Katharine Hepburn. So anyway, and I've been doing her since. So she's fun, but she was a neat lady. Very interesting lady.